FM. Don't just follow the game, experience it with us. Bring your energy. Julian Ajunwa got your flavor. Don't
Me can get enough of sport real bad. Me heart tip on Julian, pure love that.
Round the corner it goes! And it won't go in again!
All right, good evening and welcome to the midweek edition of All Access Sport right here on Big Heart Radio 92.1 FM Asaba, the station that beats for you. Thank you for joining me on the show tonight. We're glad to have you listen to us from wherever you're joining from as we keep you abreast with the latest happenings in the world of sports. My name is Julian Ajunwa. You can also call me Radio Anchor. Fired up, pumped up for today's edition of the show. A whole lot is happening in the world of sports. The transfer market is buzzing. How many more days? Just about 5 more days before the end of the transfer window. You officially shot 11 p.m. on the 1st of September. So clubs are racing against time to bring in players ahead of what is to come in what is scheduled to be a very busy season, especially in the top 5 leagues in Europe. To be or not to be for Julian Alvarez, he's been in the news all summer. When I saw him against Villarreal on Sunday, I saw a player who is sad. I saw a player who wants to leave. I saw a player who is feeling distraught. I saw a player whose heart, body and soul is no longer in Atletico Madrid. His heart, body and soul he wants to be at the Spotify Nou Camp. His heart, body and soul, his head, everywhere, every part of Julian Alvarez's body, his mind, everything wants to go to the Spotify Nou Camp to go play alongside Barcelona. He doesn't want to leave Spain. He doesn't want to go to Arsenal. His preference is to stay in Spain, and his preference is not to go to Real Madrid. It's not to go to the white side of Madrid, but to go to Barcelona, the team that has won the Champions League just once in the last 11 years. Barcelona last won the Champions League in 2015, but at least they have won the Spanish La Liga in the last 2 years, and they're looking to make it 3 consecutive years. Imagine a Julian Alvarez in that Barcelona side. They romped over Elche on Sunday, 5-0, with Fermin scoring twice, Rafinha scoring, Anthony Gordon coming on as a sub, providing 2 assists, Karim Adeyemi as well. So this Barcelona side, I joy to watch. Imagine adding a Julian Alvarez to that particular team. So wait to see how it pans out. But what I know is that Atletico Madrid do not want to do business with Barcelona. They are ready to do business with any club so long as it is not in Spain. That is against the wish of the player, and we'll see how all of this pans out in the next 5 days. So before we get into all of those transfer gist and so much more in the second half of the show tonight, let's start from the home front. As usual, Warri Wolves head coach Hassan Abdallah has confirmed that the club has signed 14 new players to bolster the squad ahead of the 2026-2027 Nigerian Premier Football League season, which kicks off this weekend. Abdallah spoke to journalists about his team's readiness for the new season, insisting that the team's level of preparation gives him confidence that they won't struggle in the new campaign as was the case last season. He says, and I quote, "We signed 14 new players. We also retained 19 players from last season, which means that we have registered a total of 33 players for the new season. It has been a very meticulous but tough preseason for us because we know where we are coming from. Last season we struggled for most part of the season, and that played a prominent role in our preparation for the new season. We are not going to struggle again this time around because we have strengthened the team, hoping to have a good run in the league. The Seasiders will get their new season underway this weekend in what is dubbed a South-South Derby, a clash away to Bendel Insurance at the iconic Samuel Egbemudia Stadium in Benin City. Coach Abdallah reckons that his team has done well enough in the transfer window as well as during preseason to expect a good result in their opening fixture. So for Warri Wolves, yes, they've had good preseason. I remember they beat Morak FC recently by 2-0. I also know that they had a victory against Boumafield, a very young side. Coach White's doing an immaculate job with that team all the way in Kwale. I also remember that Enugu Rangers, came here. Kun Khalifa came here. Positive results in all of those games. They actually lost to Rangers by 1-0, but the game against Kun Khalifa actually ended in a draw. So they've had a decent run out in terms of games. But again, it's easier said than done. When you bring in players, it doesn't automatically mean that you're going to stay afloat in the league. They brought in players last season, but it was struggle all the way. The first 10 games wasn't good enough. It was mixed results, a draw here, a win here, a loss here, and all of that. And it really affected the team. They had to ask Coach Napoleon Aluma to step aside after he lost to Shooting Stars at the stadium in Ozoro. And then Coach Johnny Austin took charge in interim capacity, got a couple of points here and there. And then Coach Napoleon came back again. The same Shooting Stars beat his team in Ibadan. He was suspended again, or asked to step aside, or sacked, or whichever language was used at that point in time. But again, Coach Hassan Abdallah came in towards the end of the season, tried to keep the team in the league, did a very good job. But now that he's got a full preseason to prepare the team, he also has an idea of how he wants the team to play. And he has also gone all out to tell the Delta State Sports Commission that these are the kind of players that he wants to get. And so far, so good. They have given him what he has. 14 new players in addition to the 19 they retained last season, making it 33 registered players for the new season. So hoping that this season is going to be better for Warri Wolves, hoping that this season they're going to start very well and finish very well, so that at the end of the day, they do not battle relegation like they did for most parts of last season. This is a prestigious club. This is a traditional club. This is a club that many years ago were vying for continental position. This is a club that's produced, quality players over time. Ogene Karetebo, you talk about Bola Salami, you talk about Azubike Gweke. So many players has played for Warri Wolves in the past, and it's just a pity that what you have now is different from what it used to be before. So it's all about trying to rebuild the club. It's all about trying to take this club to where it deserves, which is competing for continental competitions, the CAF Champions League and the CAF Confederations Cup. The clubs that are there are not, they don't have two heads. It's the same football club, but just perhaps different management and different ideology on how they want the club sides to play. So I believe so much in the chairman of the Delta State Sports Commission, Honorable Honorede Oboriwori. Well, he has done a very good job so far as chairman of the Delta State Sports Commission, trying to reposition football in the state, trying to reposition the team. I see him most of the times last season when they played their home games at the Southern Delta University Stadium in Ozoro. So he's somebody who is very passionate about football, and he's trying to ensure that this team succeed under his watch as chairman of the Delta State Sports Commission. All right, let's leave football for now and move on to other sports. In tennis, Formula One, Lewis Hamilton says he didn't present the best version of himself when criticizing his Ferrari team over the radio and in television interviews at the Dutch Grand Prix. Hamilton sounded irate in a series of radio messages sent when he was being held up by teammate Charles Leclerc, despite the pair being on different strategies during the race in Zandvoort. The seven-time world champion felt as though the lost time ultimately cost him a podium as he finished fourth just behind George Russell, having been unable to overtake the Mercedes in an exciting finale. Hamilton, who joined Ferrari from Mercedes in 2025, doubled down on his criticism of his team after the race when he compared the Italian squad hesitation to get Leclerc out of the way to the Silver Arrows, decisively ordering Russell to let his teammate, championship leader Kimi Antonelli, pass him later in the race. All right, so Hamilton needs to do better. He knows that he's an experienced driver, he's seven-time world champion, and he needs to bring his experience to the fore. He knows that these things can happen. He has seen it all. He has competed at the very highest level. What these companies want to do all the time is to ensure the best for the team. So sometimes as drivers, you will not be so satisfied with the decision. I brought a story about Toto Wolff, the Mercedes president, coming out to say that he doesn't really care so much about how the drivers feel. All he cares is about how the team succeed. If asking a driver to step aside for another driver, for a teammate to go ahead of him, is the best way to go for the team to achieve success, to try to strengthen their hopes of winning the Drivers' Championship and the Constructors' Championship, then those decisions has to be made. So Hamilton knows all of this too well, and he needs to manage his emotions better going forward. Still in other sports, in boxing, Frank Warren says he thinks a long-awaited heavyweight showdown between Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua will go ahead in America, despite claims the bout is in doubt. Everything seemed to be in place for the British pair of former world champions to meet in London in November, but Saudi organizers Salah desire to instead hold the event in the USA has created a hold-up. Joshua's promoter Eddie Hearn has been pushing to keep the fight in London, which led to Fury claiming last week that the contest was in serious doubt because his rival was asking for more money. However, Fury's promoter Warren has allayed fears the fight could be called off and insists the Gypsy King would also have preferred it to take place in the UK. Warren says the fight taking place outside the UK will be nothing unusual in terms of boxing's history. Yes, that's the truth. When you have when you compare the biggest fights, that featured the likes of Muhammad Ali and all of that, most of those fights, the George Foreman's, those fights did not happen in America. Those fights happened, one even happened in Zaire, that's the former DR or the current DR Congo now. So, but again, that was then, this is now. The kind of amount of money that has been put together to ensure that this fight takes place is nothing compared to what it used to be back in the day. The kind of money that boxers make from fighting once or twice or even 3 times a year cannot be compared to what it used to be before. So I understand that these 2 fighters are from Britain. I also understand that they want this fight to happen in the UK. But as it stands now, Fury is tilting towards it happening in the UK. But if it doesn't happen in the UK, if it happens in America, if it happens in Saudi Arabia, wherever it happens, Fury is ready to fight. But the contract now that AJ and Fury signed is for the fight to actually take place in the UK. So that is a contract that has been signed. And that is what Eddie Hearn, Joshua's promoter, and even AJ himself is saying. That we've already signed a contract. It's not about who wants more money or who doesn't want more money. This fight has got to take place in the UK. What is the essence of we fighting when we cannot give the UK fans what they want? Because if that fight doesn't happen in the UK, they have more or less deprived UK fans of experiencing something they have waited for more than 10 years. So for me, I'm on the side of Anthony Joshua that the fight has to happen in the UK. As much as I want to see these 2 guys go to war, I want to see who the best British heavyweight boxer is. They might not even fight what. I don't know what is in the details of the contract. Probably there's a rematch clause inserted in the contract for whoever loses to exercise after the bout and all of that. We see these things happen. After all, Tyson Fury fought 3 times against Deontay Wilder. One of them ended in a draw, and then Fury won the last 2 bouts. So these things can happen. But again, everyone is tilting towards the fight happening in the US, which is most likely where it is going to happen now. So it is only AJ, according to the latest reports now, AJ is still holding out for the fight to take place in the UK. If it doesn't take place in the UK, that fight might be in jeopardy. So everyone is just trying to speak to AJ, a lot of voices in his head, trying to convince him, okay, don't worry, whether in the UK, whether in the US, let's get into the training camp, let's get into the gym, let's prepare for this bout, because this is what everyone has been waiting for. So I'm sure as the days go by, we'll have more developing stories as far as this AJ versus Fury situation is concerned. All right, let's tell you this story about FIFA presidents, about FIFA and all of that. A number of current and former footballers have united against under pressure FIFA President Gianni Infantino, stating change is necessary at the head of global governing body. Former Manchester United and France defender Mikel Silvestri, who sits on the FIFA's Players' Voice panel, issued a statement on X on Monday in a post where he titled, "Enough is enough." The statement has been shared on social media by the likes of England defender Lucy Bronze, France's 1998 World Cup winner Emmanuel Petit, as well as former England goalkeeper David James. It follows Infantino's controversial plan to sell stakes in competitions, including the World Cup, to private investors, with the statement saying players share this exact same consent as the millions of fans around the world. It's also called for unity from grassroots to the top of the game in support of structural change at FIFA, with players and fans getting a real direct say in how the sport is run. Silvestri's involvement represents a challenge from within FIFA itself, with the 16-strong players' voice panel having been formed by the governing body to monitor and advise on tackling racism in football. Infantino has, however, found support from former Barcelona striker Samuel Eto'o, Fields, president of the Cameroonian Football Association, who doesn't believe the FIFA leader has done anything wrong. Okay, so this is how it is. Infantino has been in the news. That's not in doubt. He's been in the news for months now. A lot of controversy. Whenever you mention Infantino, his name is synonymous to controversy. His name is synonymous to something that has gone wrong. His name is synonymous to somebody who is like a cat with 9 lives. All right. So whether everyone likes it or not, as it stands now, there is a division. Amongst the 211 member associations under FIFA, there is a division. Some countries, some football federations are standing with Infantino. In Africa, Patrice Motsepe and the other African teams, 54 of them are standing with Infantino as of today. It might change tomorrow. CONMEBOL, where you have Brazil, Argentina, and the likes, all of them are also in support of Gianni Infantino. All right, but UEFA, the UFC, Asian Football Confederation, all of them are against Infantino. And now some federations have even come out to say, They don't want Infantino anymore. So it's not even down to confederation now. Even some countries are coming out to say this is not what we want. The Irish FA yesterday came out to say they're not supporting Infantino. The England Football Association, many of them together, has come and said they're not supporting Infantino. So we need to see how all of this takes place. But what I know is that Infantino has been doing his on the ground work, let me put it like that. He's been traveling around the world trying to seek support, because all he needs now is support. If he can get the number of support he wants, because the others don't have to support him. If he gets a reasonable amount of support to stand for election next year, it is a very, very big likelihood that he wins. Because at the end of the day now, who is going to stand to contest against Gianni Infantino? The most powerful, or one of the most powerful persons in football, the UEFA president, Alexander Ceferin, said he's just not interested in contesting for the post of FIFA president. He's happy where he is as UEFA president. But UEFA is still under FIFA. So at the end of the day, everything might just be playing into the hands of Infantino. It might just be a matter of time before Gianni Infantino wins the election to contest his final 4 years as president of FIFA. All right, I'll go on a break now, and when I come back, we'll go straight to Transfer Gist on the show. There's a whole lot to digest, as well as matches in the EFL Cup, or what you call the Carabao Cup, second round. Fixtures, Tottenham Hotspur are in action. So you wonder why Tottenham Hotspur and Chelsea, who don't play until tomorrow, are involved in the early round. That's because they did not qualify for European football. So the teams that qualify for European football, about 9 of them will join from the third round, while the other 11 will start from the second round. So that's just the way it works. So Chelsea, Tottenham Hotspur, and Newcastle, some very big teams in the Premier League who did not qualify for the Champions League or any European competition starting from this round. We'll also talk about Real Madrid. They have a La Liga game against Real Sociedad, and then we'll talk about other matters before I open up the phone lines for you to join the conversation. It's still All Access Sports tonight on Big Heart Radio 92.1 FM Asaba. My name is Julian Ajunwa. I'll be back very shortly.
That means so many things for me, because Madrid is the first shot I get when I was young. It was a gift from my big brother. And since I am young, I always dreamed to play for this amazing club. And today, I'm just in the dream, and I'm very happy to be here. And I know the club have a very high expectation from players, from everyone who wear this shirt, and I'm here to fight for this club and to give everything on the pitch and off the pitch as well. I feel great. I feel so emotional. Only for the one in Paris in 2022, because I play with Liverpool at this time, and Madrid won again this Champions League. But I want to be part of this story, and I really hope I can win a Champions League with this club, and to be part of this club forever too. That means a lot of things, because Madrid is the biggest club in the world, and is a big reason of that. He changed many things in this club, and he bring this club where he is today. That's why, in the football world, Florentino Perez is a big figure in the world football club in the world, and this forever. I was not the first person to receive that. It was my brother, and they were so excited. They were screaming on the phone, all of it. Sin ellos hoy no estaría aquí. Everything, the training ground, the people who work there, everyone is so kind. Everyone try to help you, for you to just think about the pitch and football. And I've been in amazing club with Liverpool. But when I arrived at Madrid, I didn't expect to have all of these things around us. Even when we travel, the amount of people who travel with us to make sure we have everything around us. Yes, it's just amazing. I hope and I work every single day to bring the best version of myself here, to be the best in my position in the world, to work every day to help the team. And the most important for me is my teammates to be happy and to win trophies. That's it. This is my only target with this club. Yeah, good. I just start like at the end of the World Cup, and after I went to holiday, I didn't really have time to learn. But since I arrived here in pre-season, I start again some lessons. And hopefully in a few months I can speak very well with everyone. Yeah, I'm so excited. I really look forward to play there because now it's a new stadium with a new renovation. I play at Bernabeu, but it was not the new stadium. Then now I'm so excited to see this new stadium again. The most important is to win and for a defender don't concede any goal. And I think it's the best way to start the season. Buenas tardes a todos. Estoy muy feliz de estar aquí. Lo primero, quiero agradecer al presidente, al entrenador y al Real Madrid por la confianza. También quiero agradecer a mi familia, a mis amigos y a todas las personas que me han apoyado desde el principio. Sin ellos hoy no estaría aquí. Desde niño soñaba con este momento. Hoy ese sueño se hace realidad. Sé muy bien lo que representa este club. Es una gran responsabilidad, pero también una gran motivación. También quiero agradecer a la afición por el cariño, se significa mucho para mí y para mi familia. Prometo darlo todo por esta camiseta, trabajar cada día al máximo y ayudar al equipo. Espero vivir grandes momentos, ganar muchos títulos. A la Madrid.
If you're on the move,
then move it to 92.1 FM, Asaba.
We beat for you.
All right, that was Ibrahima Konate, the French defender who joined Real Madrid from Liverpool on a free transfer. And once again, he's in the starting lineup for Real Madrid in their game against Real Sociedad. Kickoff time for that fixture is 8 p.m. So let me just give you the starting lineup. So Thibaut Courtois is in goal for Real Madrid. Alvaro Carreras keeps his place from the first game against Espanyol. Dean Howson, Ibrahima Konate, and Denzel Dumfries. Federico Valverde, the new captain of the side, appearing alongside Bernardo Silva. And then you've got Ada Goulet on the right-hand side, Vinicius Junior on the left-hand side, Jude Bellingham playing in the hole behind the top scorer in the La Liga for the last 2 years, the top scorer in the Champions League for last year, the top scorer at the World Cup that just ended in July, Kylian Mbappe. This is the starting lineup for Real Madrid. For Real Sociedad, they got Ramiro in goal, Aramburu, Betia, Martin and Gomez, Torrentes and Herrera in the middle of the park, Kubo, Susic, Ochieng, and Mikel Oyarzabal, a World Cup winner for Real Sociedad. He scored 5 goals for the Spanish national side, helping them to win their second World Cup. On the bench for Real Sociedad, they've got Aguirre, Barrenechea, Guedes, Labera, Machal, Marrero, Munoz, Oscarson, Pacheco, Sole, Zarkan, and Zubelda. And for Real Madrid, they've got Rudiger, Rivas, Mestre, Lunin, Carlos Espi, the man who came up from the bench and scored the winner against Espanyol in the last game. Yan Diomande, Brahim Diaz, Marco Correa, Kiria, Cristo, Sancho, Eduardo Camavinga, and Trent Alexander-Arnold. So it's a pretty much a strong bench for Real Madrid, despite missing the likes of Eder Militao, Endrick, Ferland Mendy, Thiago Pitach, Rodrigo, and Aurelien Tchouameni. And for Real Sociedad, they've got Alvaro Odriozola, former Real Madrid player, Marin, and Gorostegui. These are the players who are not going to feature in this encounter. So for Real Madrid, 3 points out of their first one game. And for Real Sociedad, they lost their first game by 1-0. So they needed to get their first point on board. And that was against Real Sociedad. All right, and against Real Betis, rather. And then when you look at head-to-head meetings between those two sides, Real Madrid have won the last 3, 4-1, 2-1, 2-0, and all of that. So a very exciting time whenever these two sides meet. We'll see lots of goals scored. In fact, in the Copa del Rey in 2025, that was last year, he ended 4-4. I remember that game so well. It was a very, very exciting fixture. Real Sociedad scored first, Endrick equalized, and then David Alaba scored an own goal. Oyarzabal made it 3-1. Bellingham and Tchouaméni made it 3-2 and 3-3 in the space of 4 minutes. And then Oyarzabal scored again in added time to make it 4-3. And then in extra time with 5 minutes to go, Antonio Rudiger scored in the 115th minute of extra time. And that was after Real Madrid had beaten them in the reverse fixture of that game by 1-0. In the UEFA Champions League final playoffs, the second leg fixtures, AEK Athens will take on Levski Sofia, Celje against Slovan Bratislava, Olympic Lyon against Fenerbahce. This is 1-1 from the first leg, and Viking will come face-to-face against Dinamo Zagreb. All of these games will kick off by 8 p.m. Nigerian time. So we've also got matches in the EFL Cup. You can also call it a Carabao Cup for sponsorship reasons. And you've got exciting matches today. About 4 of them. Bradford City will take on Burnley. There's Preston against Everton. There's Newcastle United against West Bromwich Albion. Another home game for Mattis Yaisley, the new coach of Newcastle United, while Roberto De Zerbi and his Tottenham Hotspur side will come face-to-face against Charlton Athletic. So let's give you starting lineups in the game between Tottenham Hotspur and Charlton Athletic. Remember now that with the caliber of players that Tottenham signed, that they will field a very strong team. It might look like a second team to you, but it's a very strong one because there's not so much in terms of difference between the players who are starting and the ones who are actually on the bench. So Kinski is in goal, Destiny Udoji, Ben Davies, Jan-Paul Van Hecke, and Archie Gray. These are the 4 defenders. Matheus Fernandes, Rodrigo Bentancur, and Lucas Bergvall are the midfielders, and more Dominic Solanke and Matty Steele are the strikers. So it's a straight 4-3-3 formation for Tottenham Hotspur. For Charlton, they've got Brooks, Asimwe, Messi, Kumnetio, Skinjay, Knips, Omar, Ali, Doherty, Appa, and Imbik. So these are the ones who are going to do it for Charlton Athletic. On the bench for Tottenham, they got Danso, Dubravka, Gallagher, Porro, Richarlison, Robertson, Mickey van der Veen is back from injury, the new captain of the side, Williams Barnett, and new signing Savinho. So he's on the bench for Tottenham Hotspur in this encounter. And the coach, Roberto De Zerbi, has said that he most likely will play part in today's encounter. How about Preston against Everton? That's another game involving a Premier League side led by David Moyes. They've got Pickford in goal, Roll, Tarkowski, Keane, Michaelenko, Ghana, Armstrong, Diblin, Drisby Hall in Diaye, and Tieno Barry. And for Preston, they've got Nicolis, Vukovic, Gibson, Story, Valentin, Leroy Thompson, Buzok, Moran, Small, and Erabi. So what I've noticed so far in this early rounds is that the Premier League teams mean business. They are fielding their strong team because this is also a pathway to qualify for the UEFA competition for next season. Okay, for Newcastle against West Bromwich Albion, that's another exciting game to look forward to. Newcastle, I thought, were very brilliant in their last game against Liverpool. Narrowly, Liverpool got a penalty in the 99th minute of that encounter. But they've got a giant in goal: Lewis Hall, Botman, Teo, Dedic, Ramsey, Steo, Murphy, Willock, Bazumana Toure, and Nick Voltumada. And for West Brom, they've got Ingram, Williams, Mefam, Campbell, Townsend, Price, Diakite is in Gola, Whitwell, Stewart, and Morgan. All right, so these are the games to come in the EFL Cup, and these fixtures will all start in the next 12 minutes. Time to talk about transfers on the show tonight. Chelsea are considering a move for Aston Villa goalkeeper Emiliano Martinez after contacting the Argentina international's representatives. The 33-year-old is considered available for a potential transfer from Villa after the club signed Japan goalkeeper Zion Suzuki from Parma for about £30 million earlier this month. So this move could provide another opportunity for Chelsea and Villa to do business, as Chelsea already signed forward Morgan Rogers from Aston Villa for a club record £117 million, while Alejandro Garnacho moved in the opposite direction on an initial loan deal. Striker Nicholas Jackson, who is valued at £65 million, could also join Villa and be reunited with his former manager Unai Emery. The clubs are known to have a close relationship. They were also involved in a deal widely described as a PSR swap, which saw defender Ian Martin join Villa and Omari Kellyman, who is now at Strasbourg, moved to Chelsea. Juventus attempted to sign Martinez earlier in the transfer window, but the deal collapsed because of concerns over a finger injury. The Italian club instead signed Tottenham goalkeeper Guillermo Vicario on loan. The potential moves comes amid concerns over the performances of Chelsea goalkeeper Robert Sanchez. Manager Xavi Alonso initially defended the Spanish goalkeeper after the match and was again asked about him before the Carabao Cup match against Luton Town tomorrow at Stamford Bridge. Chelsea's number 2 goalkeeper Mike Penders, who returned over the summer from a successful loan spell at Strasbourg, could start the game instead. So I've always said that for Chelsea to win, in fact for any team to win any trophy, you must have a very solid goalkeeper. There's no two ways about it. There are some things that are not negotiable. There's not something that you can gamble on. If you check teams that have been successful, especially in league football, let me even be very precise. You check teams that have won the league title, they've had very solid goalkeepers. You talk about Arsenal. David Raya has been the best goalkeeper in the Premier League for the last 3 years. He has won the Golden Glove for the last 3 years. Last season, he kept 19 clean sheets in 37 games in the Premier League to also win the Golden Glove. You know, the last one in 2025, he shared it with Nottingham Forest goalkeeper Matt Sells. And then the first one, he won it as well. So you cannot talk about goalkeepers in the world today. And there's no goalkeeper in the world today. Anyone can correct me if I'm wrong. There's no goalkeeper in the world today that is better than David Raya. When the Ballon d'Or will take place in October, mark my words, the best goalkeeper who is going to win the Lev Yashin Trophy is David Raya. I don't see any goalkeeper anywhere that is better than a David Raya. With all due respect to all of the fine goalkeepers, Joan Garcia for Barcelona, Thibaut Courtois for Real Madrid, Unai Simon for Spain at Club Athletic, and a couple of other goalkeepers, Donnarumma, but there's nobody now that is better than the Arsenal goalkeeper David Raya. It was Gianluigi Donnarumma who won the award last season because he was so good with Paris Saint-Germain, and all of that. That was in 2025. So again, we need to also look at it from the Chelsea perspective. Robert Sanchez is not a good goalkeeper. For somebody like me, I like to say things the way they are. I don't like to call white black or black white. He's not a good goalkeeper. And sometimes you cannot give what you don't have. As much as you try, it's not working. That for Chelsea to be successful, if you check the history of Chelsea from 2005 till date, check the quality of goalkeepers they've had. How many Robert Sanchez will you find there? When Chelsea won the league in 2005, they brought in a certain Peter Cech, who kept 24 clean sheets that year. And Chelsea as a club considered only 15 goals in the Premier League. In the whole of the 38 games, Chelsea considered only 15 goals in the league. That record is still yet to be broken today. That record for that Chelsea team with Jose Mourinho, his first season at Chelsea, they considered only 15 goals that season, with a Peter Cech in goal. The following year, in 2006, they retained the league. So you cannot have a winning team and you have a Robert Sanchez. He's not a good goalkeeper. If you're a Chelsea fan and you say Robert Sanchez is a good goalkeeper, I'm sorry, maybe you don't know football or you don't watch the player. Look at his performance against Fulham just 2 days ago. Look at the first goal he conceded. Look at the second goal. He single-handedly almost brought back Fulham into that game. So if Chelsea want to win the league this season, which I don't think they will, but if they also want to qualify for the Champions League, which is possible, you need to have a solid goalkeeper. And Martinez is a solid goalkeeper. Very solid goalkeeper. Martinez can give Chelsea another 4 years at the top level. Look at his heroics in the World Cup finals against Spain. If you take out Martinez's performance, Argentina would have been beaten in that final by 5 or 6 or 7 goals in that final. He had to take something spectacular from Ferran Torres from point blank range to be able to beat an Emiliano Martinez. He's a solid goalkeeper. That's the kind of goalkeeper Chelsea should be going for. If you want to be ambitious, that is the kind of guy you should go for. And he's not going to be expensive, less than £10 million. And Aston Villa already have brought in a replacement, which is Zion Suzuki, the Japanese goalkeeper. He has joined from Parma, and he's going to be Aston Villa's number 1. So which means that Aston Villa needs to move on Emiliano Martinez. The guy even wants to leave. So if I was Chelsea, going all out, and the guy is open to leave, open to playing for Chelsea. So where does that leave a Mike Penders, for instance? Maybe he has to go back on loan, because you cannot have Penders dropping, who was hoping to be second choice, or who was even hoping to compete for the first spot position with a Robert Sanchez. If you bring Martinez obviously will be the number 1 goalkeeper, no doubt about that. And with the fact that Chelsea are not playing in Europe, so which means the other goalkeepers are not going to play much. So if I'm a Mike Penders, just start looking for how to start going on loan. Let Robert Sanchez learn from the very best. Because when you have goalkeepers who are not of top quality, who is going to learn from who? Who is going to learn from who? What will Mike Penders today say he wants to learn from that calamity Robert Sanchez? Always prone to errors. Anytime you watch him, when you pass the ball to him, he's already shaking. Always indecisive. You are not good with your feet. You are not a good shot stopper. Then you are useless to Chelsea. That's the way it is. Chelsea are a top club. For them to win, look at when they last won the league in 2017. They had a Thibaut Courtois in goal. A very young, a very vibrant, a very exciting Thibaut Courtois in goal. Check Thibaut Courtois' career from that time he played at Chelsea up until now. Played for Atletico Madrid. From Atletico Madrid, he went to Chelsea. From Chelsea, he's gone to Real Madrid. And the guy has solidified his position as one of the best goalkeepers, at least in the last 10, 15 years. But look at Robert Sanchez. So Chelsea should just capitalize on this and get him as quickly as possible so that they solve that goalkeeping situation. When you have an assured goalkeeper in goal, it gives confidence to your defense. That's the truth. When you have it, one of the reasons why Raya is the best goalkeeper is because he also gives a lot of confidence to the Arsenal defense. As much as the Arsenal defense is good, with Saliba, with Gabriel, with all of those guys in there, they are very good. But look at the save Raya made against West Ham United towards the end of last season. For me, that's the save of the season, because that was the save that preserved Arsenal's title ambitions. If that goal had scored, if Matheus Fernandes had scored that goal, West Ham United would have been leading that game, a game that Arsenal needed to win. And with how many minutes left, what was the assurance that they will be able to come from a goal down to score 2 goals in that fixture? So that is a goalkeeper. Robert Sanchez will not make that save. He go down open leg, the ball go down passing leg, 1-0, done and dusted. So Chelsea needs a solid defense, and they also need a very quality goalkeeper. And how many goalkeepers in the world today are better than Emiliano Martinez? If you call top 5 goalkeepers, Martinez's name is going to be there. And that's the kind of goalkeeper that Chelsea should have in their team. All right, let's move on to other matters on the show. Atletico Madrid insists there is a 0% chance of selling Julian Alvarez to Barcelona after club president Joan Laporta said they remain interested in signing the forward. Alvarez has been the subject of intense transfer speculation this summer, and after being booed by Atletico supporters on Sunday during their 2-2 draw against Villarreal, the 26-year-old missed training today. Reportedly, Alvarez was feeling unwell, and Atletico Madrid have now condemned Laporta's latest video published on Wednesday, which said Barcelona's £85.7 million offer remained on the table. In the video, Laporta said the club had great respect for Atletico, but the bid they launched earlier this summer was still on offer. Sources at Barcelona say they'll keep trying to sign Alvarez, who joined Atletico from Manchester City in 2024 until the transfer window ends. The comment comes after weeks of increasingly complicated negotiations and public disagreement between the two clubs. So this is my message to Joan Laporta. So I did a video talking about Alvarez and all of that, and I posted on my social media account. But again, I'm beginning to have second thoughts. So in that video, I was just more or less saying that Atletico Madrid should sell the player, because I was watching their game against Villarreal on Sunday. I was feeling pity for Alvarez. Each time the camera showed Alvarez on the TV, Alvarez was not himself. And like I said in my intro, Alvarez's heart, his soul, his body, his mind, everything he has in him is no more in Atletico. The guy wants to go to Barcelona. But what I don't like Barcelona doing, especially with this their president, I don't like his tactics. I don't like the fact that you keep talking about a player from another club, a player who you know is under contract. You keep talking about the player and trying to cajole the player or convince the player or coerce the player, whatever word it is now, on why the player should join Barcelona. For me, that's not the right way to go. If the club does not want to sell the player, Look for other options. You're unsettling the player, Joan Laporta. That's what you're doing. You've registered a bid. You've registered an interest in the player. You've dropped a bid for the player. The club has told you they are not accepting your bid. The club even pointed to his release clause of over 500 and something million euros, which of course you people cannot pay. Allow the player to leave. If you're serious about buying Alvarez, pay his release clause. The release clause is there. Pay it. That's what PSG did when they wanted to bring Neymar in 2017. Neymar's release clause was 200 million euros. Barcelona were thinking that no club will pay it. PSG paid it. They went to the La Liga office, carried that money and said, take. This is the 200 million euros that is in the contract, the clause that's in the contract of Neymar. We want to buy Neymar. We want to win the Champions League. Take the money. And the La Liga people say, okay, you guys are not serious. So they collected the money and informed Barcelona that somebody has activated Neymar's release clause. And Barcelona say, wow, are you kidding me? This PSG mean business. So because nobody saw it coming. Even Barcelona themselves were not informed. They did not expect that PSG would go all out to pay that money. And at the end of the day, Neymar left Barcelona. We heard he was tired of playing in the shoes of, in the shadows of Messi, which for me, I didn't buy into that. Messi and Neymar till today are still best of friends. That some were saying he wanted to leave to go to PSG because if he plays with Messi, he will not win the Ballon d'Or. He will not. All of those stuff are just crap. But again, PSG showed intent and went all out to get the player. So Barcelona, if you are serious about, you want to desperately get Alvarez, there's no other striker in the market. You want to replace Lewandowski at all costs. Do you think there's no other striker in the market? Pay his release clause. When you pay his release clause, then Atletico Madrid will say, these people really mean business. So pay the release clause. Stop unsettling a player who plays for another club. Stop unsettling a player who plays for a rival club. The same La Liga you people want to win. The same titles you people want to win. So Atletico don't want to win. Do you think Atletico Madrid don't want to win? And for Atletico Madrid to win, they need their best player. And their best player is Alvarez. So don't unsettle the player. If somebody was doing this to a Lamine Yamal, for instance, this same Laporta who is releasing video like he's an upcoming artist, almost every time he's releasing video, talking about player who plays for another club side. If they do that to your own Lamine Yamal, for instance, will you be happy, Laporta? Stop unsettling another player. If the guy wants to go, we know he wants to join Barcelona, but part of the reasons why I think he wants to join Barcelona is also because they've done everything to unsettle that guy. Today you hear Gavi, if we have Julian Alvarez in our team, he's going to make our team good. The next day you hear another Barcelona player, Gavi, if we have Alvarez will make us better. You hear another Barcelona player. Why are you people talking about another player? As the rules changed, if you ask managers now to talk about players who they are trying to sign from another club, you always hear them say, I will not talk about players who are not my players. I will not talk about players who are players of other clubs. And meanwhile, in the same complex, when the interview is taking place, the player is having his medical. But the coach will not say anything. He will tell you, he will tell the journalist, you guys know better than us. But meanwhile, if he turns his head this way, the player is doing his medical. But until an official announcement is done, the coach will not talk about the player because the player belongs to another club. So Laporta, free this matter. How many times do you want the president of Atletico Madrid, your colleague, to tell you that we're not selling? Free this guy now. Stop unsettling another player. Allow the guy to go and look for somebody else. There are other fishes in the river or in the water, like they say. There are other strikers. Go and look for other strikers. Leave this one. Leave this one. For me, it doesn't make any sense. Anytime I see this news, it gets me very, very annoyed. If Atletico Madrid are willing to sell to Arsenal, for instance, but Alvarez's preference is to go to Barcelona. But Atletico Madrid, I say, we will not sell you to Barcelona. You are under contract. You will remain here or you go elsewhere. The same Real Madrid came for this same Alvarez. Because I remember when Florentino Perez was going for re-election as Real Madrid president, he said, we are going to table a bid of 150 million on a player or for a player. We thought it was Michael Olise. We are thinking it was somebody else. We did not even know it was Julian Alvarez. And when Madrid tabled that offer, which is even almost 2 times of what Barcelona tabled, Atletico Madrid made caricature of them and said, are you guys high? You not a joke? So you think we'll just close our eye and give you our best player so that when we miss now, they beat us? You don't understand? And when that chapter closed, Atletico Madrid said they're not selling to Real Madrid. Have you seen Real Madrid since that time worry about Alvarez? They've moved on to other targets. Barcelona, move on. Leave this guy alone. Allow the guy to play for Atletico Madrid. They are the club side that pays him every week. Allow him to play for Atletico Madrid. They bought him for big money from Manchester City. Allow the guy to be. All right, before I open up the phone lines on the show tonight, Manchester City have signed midfielder Ayub Buwadi from Lille in an £85.6 million deal to make the Morocco international the Premier League's most expensive teenager. The 18-year-old joins on a 5-year contract subject to international clearance, with Manchester City paying £81.4 million upfront plus £4.2 million in add-ons. Enzo Maresca's side moved to sign Buwadi after selling central midfielders Rodri to Barcelona in a £65 million deal and Tijani Reinders to Al Qadisiyah for £52 million. He impressed at this summer's World Cup, starting 5 of Morocco's 6 matches in their run to the quarterfinals after becoming a key member of Lille's side in Ligue 1. The fee for Buwadi surpasses the £58.9 million paid by Manchester United to sign French defender Lenny Yoro, also from Lille, in the summer of 2024. So this guy is a solid player. I liked a lot of things he said in his interview. Speaks very fluent English. Don't worry, tomorrow morning you hear from Ayub Buwadi, and I have no doubt that he will be a good signing for Manchester City. 0807 907 1941. Just feel free to call on the show. Let's get talking. Anything you want to talk about in the world of sports, 0807 907 1941. Hello, good evening.
Good evening, Julia.
Good evening, sir. Name and location.
Welcome
to the show.
Talking about my garden club from all the thing is telling you not very taking of the best, yeah.
Which your darling club now? Which one? You people should talk to your president to leave Alvarez alone. Oh, you people should stop unsettling another player. It's not good though. It's not nice.
Not there.
The thing they pay me. See, yesterday I did a video and I said I was telling Atletico to sell him to Barcelona or sell him to Arsenal. But when I saw that video Laporta did today, I was very annoyed. Why do you keep doing this? Why?
I'm like, now, the thing that's what even me, the two for my club, like this for my club, how many days? I'm like, your man now.
Sorry about that. Your line is not so clear. You can just try to put the call back, but I think I understand what you're saying. It's just that I don't know if people who are listening can hear what you're saying. 0807 907 1941. Hello, good evening.
Good evening, Julia.
Good evening, name and location.
Yes, Mr. Mazi.
Mr. Mazi, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much. All this Barcelona president, so they don't want to leave that guy.
I never see this kind of thing for my life before. I've not seen it before.
You see, they pay me, sef. Maybe only you pay me. If the club tell una say you no want sell. If the money what they say, wanna pay, una no agree pay. You gonna go social media, they won't post. Which kind of rubbish is that? I never see this kind of thing in Premier League. If in a Premier League, they go take action on that man. So they should know what they will do about that man, because we don't use to read that canteen in Premier League. That's why Premier League impressed me the most, because you cannot see any this thing from Premier League that will come and talk that rubbish. Because if not, yes, because Premier League is one of the best leagues in the world. So not any club president can come out and be talking that kind of thing. Have you ever seen it in Premiership? So I'm not just very happy with it. So they should leave this guy Alvarez. If you want to go to Barca, let them pay that money that Atlético Madrid.
Very simple.
Very simple, so that they should get that player, not to become social media to begin to talk with him. They will not just understand. Well, Julian, I want to ask questions.
Okay.
What is happening with my club, Manchester United?
Well, for Manchester United, we'll just see. Well, let's just be seen. It looks like Alejandro Balde is going to stay at Barcelona now, because the coach of Barcelona said he's going to be in the squad for tomorrow's game. So Balde wants to stay in Barcelona. That's what it is now. Except Barcelona decides to force him out, or Manchester United tables a bid that is too sweet to turn down, and then that's the only reason why Balde might leave. But as it stands now, Balde wants to stay.
So they didn't have any option. outside.
The other option would have been Lewis Hall, and Newcastle said they don't want to sell. So it's difficult. It's not so easy.
Any player now that are touching because all these things, that is what Atlantico, this Barcelona president is doing. I don't want that situation. If the club come tell you say I don't want to sell, go look for another player that you sell. Or you offer the money. So if they tell you to bring so amount, you bring the amount, collect the player. No any quarrel, nothing there.
Okay.
What about my darling club, Real Madrid? No any signing?
No, just signing again with the ones where they don't sign. Jose Mourinho says his summer transfer is closed. No, he's not bringing any player. But if there's any player who says he wants to leave, maybe he wants to get more playing time, he's willing to allow the player to go. But no players are coming in again. Everywhere is okay.
Okay.
Right.
Well, thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Mr. Mazi, for calling on the show tonight. Let me just see if I can take one more call before I wrap things up on the show. 0807 907 1941. Hello, good evening.
Good evening, my man.
Good evening. Name and location.
Sylvester, calling from Asaba.
Sylvester, welcome to the show. No wahala.
I have decided to go on strike. I won't watch Chelsea ball until that stupid Sanchez leaves that Chelsea. I am not going to watch any Chelsea match again until Sanchez leaves Chelsea. Just imagine. And that one is our quality keeper, and that one will come out. That is, Chelsea is serious, and we mean business. You can see the first time Rogers, Palmer, and Pedro. You can see the way they are working. The team is clicking, but we cannot be scoring goal and considering goal. So
at all. Arsenal considered only 27 goals last season, so you have to have a good defense.
So I have decided not to watch the Chelsea match until that one go. Okay. But one thing that is shocking me, I don't know how Chelsea is doing this. It's somebody that scored one goal throughout the last season. Chelsea have mind to go and collect 50 million pounds from somebody.
It's the market, my brother. It's the market.
That is. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
That's why I'm not calling. I've been getting your radio station, but now I don't know.
We are working on the mass. We're working on the mass. So just give us a couple of days. We're working on it.
I normally get people. But since I just say let me try, maybe I will get it. Because you can see I've not been calling for a very long time. I've not been getting your radio station from my end.
No problem. We're working on it very soon. You hear us loud and clear. All right.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Sylvester, for calling on the show. So just give us the benefit of the doubt. We're trying to serve you better. We're trying to expand our reach so that people from far and wide, and not just within the city of Asaba and its environs, can listen to the show. Yesterday, I got a caller from Taraba. So that is the kind of feeling we want to give our listeners a wider reach. Final caller. Hello, good evening.
Radio Uncle.
Good evening. Name and location.
Yeah, good evening. It's Rooney.
All right, Rooney, you've got 30 seconds.
Radio Uncle, sorry to say this, I won't agree with you on Alvarez.
Okay.
The reason why, because, see, Alvarez was in Manchester City. Abi? He was there when Haaland came.
Mm-hmm.
He was having a playing time before Haaland came.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Okay, good. Now, when Haaland came, what happened to him? The Pep started benching him. He was on the bench for almost, in fact, all the games. He's always on the bench in all the games they play.
But they were playing at some point. But just go on.
He wasn't no, I won't agree. He wasn't playing at any point at all. He was always at the bench. Whenever he want to play, maybe at 80-something minutes when he want to finish, that's where Pep would bring him in.
Okay.
But normally, Haaland always start the game and finishes. Okay, now Atletico Madrid came. What did Manchester City tag on him? 95. Atletico Madrid bought this guy for 95 because he was looking for a playing time. Okay, now Atletico Madrid came and bought you for 95. Now you wait for Atletico Madrid. They even pity you. They pity him. They Tomio. They pity him. Buy you. Can you come Atletico Madrid for 95? The sum of 95. You never play your game finish. You never do anything for Atletico Madrid finish. The next thing, I want to leave. Who does that? No, to me, he go finish that contract. Everything go finish. All you wait is everything.
We are saying the same thing, which means you agree with me now. We are saying the same thing.
Yes. Okay. I thought you were saying. I thought. Okay.
Thank you so much for calling on the show. That's so much I can take on today's edition of All Access Sports on Big at 92.1 FM Asaba. Thank you for listening. My name is Julian Ajiwa. We'll carry on with this conversation tomorrow. Bye for now.
You're listening to Big Heart 92.1 FM Asaba. Please tell us where you're listening to us from and how clear our signals are. Reach us on email bigheartasaba921@gmail.com or on all socials at Facebook Big Heart Asaba,